Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Sandman, and today we're talking about the game Stolen Realm. Stolen Realm is a game that's still in early access, and the best way that I can think to describe it, it's a mix of Divinity, Gloomhaven, and Slay the Spire. It's got the free-flowing skill system of Divinity when it comes to character skills and classes, the movement and combat systems of Gloomhaven, and the map system from Slay the Spire. There are a few problems with the game, though. Before we talk about those, I want to talk about my experience with the game. I currently have 10 hours put into the game, 7 playing with friends, and 3 playing by myself in single player. I think that's a good amount of time for a first impression, right? And before we talk about the problems I personally have with the game, if you do like this kind of content and you want to see more, I make videos like this every Thursday, and it would help me out a lot if you hit the subscribe button. Maybe gave the video a like also. Now let's talk about Stolen Realm's problems. First off, there's a story, but there isn't really a story, at least from what I've seen. There's a cutscene right at the beginning as you go through the first portal, and there hasn't really been any other story or any cutscenes or anything else after that. I get that the game is roguelike, but you start off with a cutscene and it's like, are we going to face this dragon at the end of the game? At the end of the 4 acts? Is there going to be any lead up to it, or is it just there? You're powerful and it's just there at the end as the final boss of Act 4. There's no lead up to it or anything. Is that it? I feel like there should be more of a story, but there isn't. That's just my thing right now. I'm going to keep reiterating this. I know it's early access, but it feels like it should be a story-based game, and there's not much of a story there. The other problem, I have 2 problems with it that are more gameplay focused. The single player isn't fun. I don't find it fun. I played for about 3 hours of single player, and it's a lot simpler and a lot less to worry about than multiplayer. The multiplayer I had fun with. Playing with buddies, I always have fun. But the single player it felt like it dragged on for me, so I had to find a way to make my own fun, which came in the form of just a pure tank with defense. Or with return damage. That's it. I couldn't figure out, like, every other class I tried, I was not a fan of. So I just said screw it, and I went full tank with all return damage. And yes, the mechanics are the same between single player and multiplayer, but like I said, there's a lot less to worry about because I can decide when to hit the barrels. I can decide when to weaken enemies and then then kill them so that it's easier for them to die. And it doesn't take more coordination. It feels like it just takes longer, and it makes the game very repetitive. And that's kind of the theme of this game, I feel, is the game is repetitive. Yes, there's a lot of variety in the spells and abilities that you can use, but you'll be facing the same enemies for, at minimum, 3 to 4 runs per act, more if you do the side quests. Each act has maybe 6 or 7. At least the first 2 acts only have like 6 or 7 different levels. So about halfway through, it switches to a different set of enemies. But it's still, that's still at least 4 runs of seeing the same enemies. And if you're doing like straight battles through each of the runs, you're going to be seeing the enemies about 10 times per that run. And it doesn't feel like there's much variety in there. And the battlefields don't change that much. You're going to get the same battlefield layouts multiple times. Yes, it's going to be like, oh, different shrines, the obstacles are in a slightly different place, the enemies spawn in a slightly different area, but it's still the same basic battlefield layouts that you're going to see 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row. The game is very repetitive. I do think this game does some things well. I think the game's mechanics are solid, and I think the low poly visuals work well, and it's some good fun in multiplayer. But I don't see myself going back through Stolen Realm multiple times after completing the story to do it again on multiple difficulties right now. I know, it's early access and they're still working on it and the game feels good, but I really don't see myself playing through this game more than once. Maybe it'll be we play through it once right away, and then when it comes out of early access, we'll play the full game, but I don't know. It depends on when they put the story in and how much of a story there is. All that being said, I don't think the game is bad. I think it's very repetitive, but it has solid mechanics and a shit ton of customization and different ways you can go. I also know that roguelites are built on randomness and a different variety of events and encounters. And Stolen Realm, from what I've seen, in the 10 hours we've played, it doesn't have that variety of content within the runs. And that's why I think it's a solid game, but it is lacking a lot of things. Because we've experienced the same things multiple times, and we're not surprised anymore. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Stolen Realm. I want to know what you guys think. If you have played the game, what do you think of the gameplay, even if you haven't touched the game? But yeah, that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys did like the video, hit that like button. Maybe subscribe. Maybe you'll find something else you like as I get more into Elden Ring and doing more reviews of games and just sharing some funny moments from streams. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Peace.